Hey man, I want to give my thoughts on recent, interviews and different posts of this guy Jay Prince and the Prince family. I'm seeing a lot of people give their opinions on it, and I don't want to give it my opinion from the same angle as everybody else. I think that every now and then we gotta have a subject to where we can get a lesson out of something and not just deal with the drama of something. But I want to say this, man. In light of the situation with the Jay Prince, and this is what I noticed about like somebody like a Jay Prince. He comes from a different era, a different generation, and there's different generations, and I feel like there is generational power struggles. Whereas once that particular generation rises up, it gets to a certain level or get to say like OG status, a lot of times they don't know when to let hold of the position of authority, so to speak, and pass the torch to the next. But you're supposed to set the proper example for the next generation, then pass the torch and allow the next generation to take lead so that they can set up the next one. But what happens is I want to speak to, let's just say, the Jay Prince era, the Jay Prince generation, when they were younger and they came up. A lot of them came up under oppression. A lot of our people went through some shit. And what we gotta realize is a lot of them have that same slave mentality, the same oppressed mentality, and a lot of people draw from that passion or that pain for success. They get to a level of success by drawing from a very, very muddy place, and it works out for some people. But what happens is it becomes toxic, and I just believe somebody like a Jay Prince is toxic. Is an example of someone who's very, very toxic, and that toxic energy and that toxic behavior mentality has been passed down from generation to generation, and that over authoritative type of aura where you expect people to kind of give you a high level of praise, and if they don't, I guess it's consequences or they get dealt with or something like that. That's the Jay Prince type of era. Then there's another era of people that come into the equation. They don't give a fuck about somebody who think that they the shit or they got some John Gotti energy or whatever the case, man. There's some people that just feel like if you want respect, you gotta give respect. Nobody's just gonna kiss your ass or want to check in with you just because of what you did in the past or how much dirt you did in the streets. And there's a certain generation that don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? But there's a generation that does not lead with fear. And the Jay Prince generation leads with fear. They like to put fear in people. And a lot of us who have been enslaved and come out of that type of mentality, a lot of us was taught that. We were taught through fear, and as a result, it has shaped a lot of our thinking, a lot of our choices to act off fear and utilize fear for success, utilize fear for monetary gain, all type of stuff, right? Jay Prince is a fear type of person. You know what I mean? He utilizes fear and intimidation for stature. And that's the generational curse that a lot of people have not broken out of. They are still living in a state of fear and not a state of love. Whereas love, it's all about uniting. It's everybody's on the same equal playing field, and everybody deserves respect and their just due until they get out of line. Then there's justice comes into the place and consequences. Fear, is a frequency that is limited. People use fear to gain control over people for financial gain, and for other dark purposes. Whereas if you move in love, you don't have to utilize fear and using aggression and intimidation to get someone to like you or respect you. It'll just be your actions, and your actions will speak out, and people will gravitate to you because of your good deeds and kindness. So I want to speak to that and point out the differences between generations and how the different generations utilize different power. Some people use fear, and then some people use love. You know what I mean? And Jay Prince and his children, the way he brought them up was to utilize fear, even on their own people. That's no different from Hitler. Utilizing fear on his own people to gain control. Jay Prince is like the modern day Hitler, if you will, or a lot of people look at him like that. Someone who demands respect, someone who demands attention for what you have done in the street, for street cred and things like that. So I just wanted to give my thoughts on it. I am the Black Horseman, and I'll catch you guys on the next video, man. Shout out to the playback.
Back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore, but some days I sit and wish I was a kid again.